Hey, what's up, guys? It is MetaGamesGX here, and we are going to be doing our new Azamina branded deck profile. Of course, I don't have the cards in front of me, but we are using Dueling Book anyways to show you guys the list I would be running if I had the cards in front of me. We do plan on getting them in the future, though, so we can do some more IRL content with them, some duels, some IRL combos. But for this video, we are going to show off what this build does, why you should run Azamina branded, and is it worth it to run it while showing you guys some combos. Is it better than pure? We're going to go over that. I do think that the new Azamina cards are quite good and branded. I will answer that off the top. Essentially, the new Azamina cards came out and they gave everybody a new free Omni Negate if you're able to use this free engine, and we're one of the best decks that can use it because the Azamina fusions count as a fusion summon. So we can use this to combo off with cards like Branded Loss. We'll go into the deck profile and get to it when we get to it. But if you guys want to see a full in-depth Azamina branded combo guide, please leave a comment down below and like and subscribe. If this video gets to 300 likes, we will do an Azamina branded combo guide. I'm hoping that we get the new Duke of Despair. It's the OCG exclusive. It would make this build a little bit better as well, but for right now, this is just fine because the Azamina cards allow Branded to basically have an out to Ash Blossom 24/7 while also generating advantage and giving you bodies and playing through hand traps. So I think that's kind of the benefits of running Azamina. You can start Azamina, your opponent's gonna think you're on Snake Eyes, so they're gonna be hand trapping the Azamina stuff, or you get your Omni Negate. So yeah, no, well, let's get into it. It's pretty standard branded stuff for right now. 3 Albion, the Shrouded Dragon. You kind of have to run this at 3. This card is still just so broken. It is a +1 at the end of the day, and it lets you cipher through your deck, which is also very important, especially in a 60 card build. You kind of have to run Azamina branded at 50 to 60 cards, because the engine is about 7 to 10 cards, depending on how you run it. We are running a fuller and a more like wide Azamina engine, so I think that still running the 3 Shroud is fine, but you could probably cut down to 2. I think 3 is fine though, since we are on the 3 Allura Darkness, so we want up that dark count, of course. And then 3 Aluber Jester of Despia, you have to run at 3. Of course, this is the alt art too, if you don't recognize it. Hopefully we get this over in the TCG. Best 1 card starter in the deck. We have 3 Blazing Cartesia, of course, alongside 2 Quem, Guiding Quem the Virtuous. I think 2 Quem is quite standard at this point. I mean, 1 could be arguable, but I think you need 2 for the grind game. It's also one of your best extenders. You hate seeing 2 in your hand going second, but I think for the grind game, I think it's way too important not to have 2. And then 3 Cartesia is kind of similar, where it's just a really good extender though, and it's a great for recursion since she brings herself back to your hand at the end phase. So it's always great to have like 1 in hand, 1 on field, and 1 in graveyard. So you're always rotating through Cartesias and keeping up your card advantage while also doing things like comboing with Quem to revive a Mirror Jade, or get to Grand Guignol and complete your Gimmick Puppet Lock, or triple Mirror Jade, whatever you want to do. So I think 3 Cartesia is very integral in that with a 60 card build with Branded. We did skip the Esteller, that we are running 1 Esteller because we're running the Azamina cards. The Azamina cards are the White Forest cards turning evil, so of course we have to run the Esteller, and we're also running it because it's an incredible card in Azamina. We're running a bunch of spell cards. Look how many spell cards we have, 33 spell cards, so I think that Esteller is always going to be live for that reason, while the Azamina cards don't quite proc the Esteller. You guys can tell me if Diabellstar procs Esteller. I do not believe it does. Still, you have other things like Shrouded Dragon, you have Fallen of Albaz, and you have Lubellion in order to proc the Esteller very easily. You can send this off a Branded Fusion too, and it procs or combos with all your cards quite well. If you see this plus an Azamina card, that's basically full combo, so I think it's very good in this build especially. And then you do run 2 Saronir. I don't think the 3 Saronir is quite necessary in this build. We aren't on Grass because Grass doesn't really combo with the Azamina cards as well. We can't quite fit that TEARLAMENTS engine, so it's fine. We are on Desires. I think that White is also good, but we're already fusing a lot through the Azamina cards, so I don't think we need White in this build, and it's kind of a brick. And so for that reason, we're putting Saronir to 2 alongside 1 Bestial Lubellion because we still need to get the Lost Line. It's still a great card, and I think 2 Saronir is just fine, just in case you already draw the Saronir and you can still search off the Lubellion. And it's just great to send it off. It's a good combo piece with things like Brand High Spirits, so it's not bad. And then 3 Fallen of Albaz, of course, and then 3 or 1 Spriggan's Kit. You need to run that. You run it with the 1 High Spirit, so you can do an insulated line where if you go if you have a Luber plus a Dark Dragon, you go with Luber, normal summon, search High Spirits, and you basically play through Ash Blossom very easily that way. And then one Mercury or one Tragedy, just because we do run the 3 Allure Darknesses. Of course, you still just want to be able to search Mercury off a loss, and one Tragedy is just fine. We just don't want Brick on it, so 2 is just kind of out the gate. We already run a lot of Darks with the Diabell Star. We run 3 Diabell Star, and of course, we're running the 3 Wanted as well, on top of the 3 Sinful Spoils Deception. This card is very good in this deck. It's a starter in the sense that it will get you to your Azamina end board, which allows you to get a Omni Negate plus a draw, which is very good. Plus, it's a spellcaster in a dark, so it synergizes very well with Allura Darkness and High Spirit, so it fits into our deck quite well. And essentially, it's a free card because it gets you out to the Azamina cards, which the Azamina cards provide basically an Omni Negate. So I think that the Diabell Star is very good at 3 because of the fact it's a dark, it's a huge body too, and it forces your opponent to interact with it, frankly, if they don't stop it. Obviously they're gonna think you're on Snake Eyes in game 1, so I think the 3-day Bellstar is very strong, especially in game 1. So that's why we're running it. And then we can just go over the rest of the Sinful Spoils engine right here, because this is the Azamina branded guide. We are running, of course, 3 Sinful Spoils Deception. This is the new card, Out of Rage of the Abyss. You contribute 1 card from your hand or field, add 1 Azamina card from your deck to your hand, and basically you can basically search out the Sacred Azamina, which you can then use Sacred Azamina to reveal 1 Azamina fusion in your extra deck and send 1 Sinful Spoils card from your hand or field to the graveyard, aka the continuous that's now done on your field. Send it to the graveyard. You can special summon 1. Basically, it's an instant fusion for level 6s. If you send 1 target, you can summon basically any level 6 Azamina. So you're gonna send the you're gonna use the Sacred Azamina to send the Deception, and then summon either Risalago or Silvera being an Omni Negate, and Risalago basically getting you to your other Sinful Spoils engine, because Sacred Azamina is not a once per turn, fun fact. So basically you can so the fusion aspect of it is not once per turn, but it has a once per turn. If this card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 Azamina you control, or in your graveyard, shuffle into your deck if you do add this card to your hand. So basically this allows you, if you want to generate a lot of advantage, you can go into the Azamina stuff, make Risalago, and then basically go into Silvera, because you can just reset the Azamina. It's kind of like, it has the White Forest effect where it basically resets itself. It's very cool, very good. You can remember that we are not running any of the other because there's other Sacred Azamina basically equivalents. There's the Quick Play. I like the quick Play, but this recycles itself, so Sacred's just better in my opinion. And then also we are running 3 Poster, because 3 Poster is just an incredible consistency piece for this deck. With Allure in this, you get to draw basically 3 plus the Shroud. That's like draw 4. You're able to get to your board breakers, which is very important in this format. You need to be able to break a Yubel or Snake Eye board. And you need to see basically 2 board breakers to do that. So I think that the draw power it provides is very good, and also it forces your opponent to interact with it, which is very cool. So that's like the upsides of the Azamina package. It's very good. This card's just very expensive, so like, is it worth that much money? I'd say it is if you want to play something differently. I'm still unsure if this is better than normal branded. It on paper feels better than normal branded, I won't lie, but we haven't seen the OCG pick it up, and also just like the price of it is going to really just price out a lot of people on testing it, so we just have to test it more, see if it's really worth it. I think it is a better Yubel engine, because Yubel was kind of like this, but this just like does way more than Yubel. This gives you a draw, this gives you bodies, this gives you just way less bricks as well. So like it's definitely a lot better than the Yubel engine. So this is what I'm going to be running for right now. It makes it so it's not as bricky. You're running the 10 card engine, and then 2 cards in the extra deck to provide yourself basically a better crossout package, but also it just like generates you advantage and then forces out your opponent's interaction. It's very good. And then 3 Allure Darkness, because like I said, we need draw power of this format, and we're still running a bunch of darks with the Diabell Star. We want to draw into the Book of Eclipse, and then Triple Tactics Talents as our second board breaker. We could be running Evenlies in place of this. I think we could also be running Droplets. I just like the Talents in this scenario because I want more draw power. I just want to be able to draw 2, and I'm very more than likely baiting out a hand trap on the Diabell Star, or just like the Wanted Poster, or the Deception. So Tactics is likely going to be live, especially with the Azamina package. I think especially that's why like Tactics is basically going to be a guaranteed hand rip when you go when you start with the Azamina package. So that's why we're running triple tactics. And then we do have the branded cards. We have one branded fusion, one high spirits, because we still want to be able to do the insulated play. It's also just like a great card. Just running at 3 though is kind of iffy. We aren't running a bunch of dark dragons in this build. It's more spellcasters, and dark dragons are way better for high spirits. 2 branded in red. You need to run 2 in my opinion. You need 1 for your turn and your opponent's turn. It's either this or 1 Branded in white, but we don't have enough dragons in my opinion to justify Branded in white. I like to run Branded in white when you can hard open 2 dragons just in case you brick. We aren't on the Protostar either, so I think that this is just fine at 2. 3 Branded Lost, because Branded Lost triggers off of a Sacred Azamina, so Sacred Azamina counts as a fusion summon. And if you have Branded Lost out, basically, you get the full combo. So, Branded Lost is a combo piece now, essentially, with the Azamina cards, which is very good. So, you're allowed to run 3 Branded Lost. Because Branded Lost is great at 3 because it forces your opponent to interact with it. If you go Branded Lost, your opponent's going to use an Omni Negate on it, essentially. So, this is already a board breaker in a certain sense. And then if you have the Sinful Spoils cards, you just get to search out your engine. So if you just draw Branded Lost, like I'll show you guys the combo. If you just draw Branded Lost plus wanted poster, you basically get full combo. So it's very cool to see that. And Lost is just great because it prevents your opponent from interacting, so it's very good for breaking a board and then obviously securing the gimmick lock. And of course we are on 1 gimmick puppet, because you still have to. Gimmick puppet is just so good in branded, so like, do you even have to talk about it at that point? Run it. And then let's see, 3 opening. It's just, you gotta run it when it's at 3. It's so good. It's especially with the 10 pies, like there's gonna be so many board breakers around. You gotta always have an opening in the graveyard for the 10 pie board breakers. They probably are gonna have multiple board breakers, but you have to do what you gotta do. And then 3 deployment, because it's just an incredible card. Gets you to Cartesia or Albaz. It's a board breaker and a starter. And you're only running fusions. 1 Gold Sark, no Foolish. There's nothing to Foolish besides Tragedy. Gold Sark is better because of Mercurier and Tragedy, so it's fine. 3 triple tactics talents to search the talents going second, or Branded Fusion, or the Fusion Duplication going first to play through Ash Blossom, and then 1 Retribution. And then we can get into the extra deck. We are obviously running 2 of the Azamina cards. Remove Risalago. This basically, when summoned off the Sacred Azamina, this basically searches out 1 Azamina or Sinful Spoils cards from your deck to your hand. So on top of the draw that you get from poster, you get a search off of this, and then you can reset the Azamina, go Azamina effect, and send the card you just searched, and then you still got a body if you want. It's very good in my opinion for that reason. And then you can go to the Omni Negate, and the Omni Negate's very good. It tributes itself, but it is an Omni Negate, so that's very good. It's a small body, but I think it's very good for going first and playing through hand traps and setting up a better board. So yeah, definitely very good. This is why you run the Azamina cards, and we'll show you guys just what it adds to the branded engine. And the more I test with these cards, the more I think they're very good, actually. I was kind of cold on the engine first when I think it is. I was like, it's a little cope, but like honestly, the more I'm looking at it, as long as you play a good engine and deck build correctly, I think it's fine. You can just very easily like break your deck with this engine, so you just have to be careful deck building. So that's why I'm providing this deck profile for you guys as a good spreadsheet. So 2 Albion, gotta run it. To your best Fusion Dragon, great for grind game. 1 Sanctifier for the gimmick lock, and then also playing around evenly matched. 1 Mirror Jade, because we had to make room for the Azamina cards, so there's really no room for 2 Mirror Jade. You could potentially, there's actually no room for 2 Mirror Jade, unfortunately. I mean, you want to run them, you could potentially cut Risalago, but it's kind of sus to even run the Azamina cards if you're not running both, because it just provides you a lot of bodies. And then 2 Grand Guignol, because you want to run 2 for the 1 card gimmick lock, and then also just grind game. 1 Lubellion for fusing back resources, and then 1 Borreload Furious Dragon, because it's very good against stun, pops a card on each turn. It's basically your second Mirror Jade. 1 Stapelia, just to play through Shifter a little bit with the Borreload Furious. It's not that great. It's not as good as Lad, but this, for that reason, could very well be Lad, but we aren't on white or anything, so this could be Lad, though. And then 1 Guardian Chimera, 1 Tankclad, and 1 Rundbrum. So yeah, guys. That was the extra deck. And then we'll get into the side deck. 3 Furos. I think you should be running Furos either in your main or side. Either way, there's no room in the main with the Azamina stuff, but that's fine. Azamina does It's way more consistent than Fueros in the main deck. I just think Fueros is way more devastating going second. So, you know, it's just take your pick which deck you're going to, or build you're going to be running. 3 Dark Ruler, 3 Evenly, because they're the best board breakers in the game. The Dark Ruler could be droplets, frankly. I think they might turn into droplets because I think you need droplets or super poly, but then one Feather Duster just for all the back row decks to still just help deal with like Yubel and stuff like that, and just like other stun decks, and then Blazing Branded King for all the Called by the Graves and all that fun stuff and stun decks. 1 D barrier for Tenpai, and then 2 Fusion Duplication. Also, you can call Fusion against the Azamina decks. Worst case. And then 1 Blackout. Blackout's very good because you can send it off of Diabell Star. So it's very good just pitch to have also a good thrust target too. And you just call a monster name. Either can play special summon, but in the graveyard, that's the more important effect. So it's very good. Also as a board breaker, you can pitch it going second, call a name. So it's very good as a board breaker. So yeah, guys, that was the AZAMINA branded deck profile. Make sure to leave a like down below if you want to see the full combo guide. I'm going to show you guys 2 combos now, so you guys have an idea of what this does with the deck, and then you guys can go off with that. So let's get into it. Thank you, guys. All right, guys, so we're on Omega. I'm going to show you guys what 1 wanted plus a branded loss gets you, plus a discard. So we go branded lost. Doesn't really matter going first. Get the Diabell Star, of course. You can go Diabell Star effect, pitching your card, your 1 discard. And then you can go Diabell Star effect. You are going to set the Deception of the Sinful Spoils. So then you can use your Deception of the Sinful Spoils that you just set to tribute 1 monster and add 1 Azamina card. So we will tribute the Diabell Star to add the Sacred Azamina. Then we can go Sacred Azamina effect to go into the Murislago, sending the Sinful. And then we can go Risalago effect to search, and then we can go Brand Loss effect to search. We can then get the Spriggan's Kit, and then we can go Murislago's effect. And then we can get the, might as well just get Deception. And then we can go Sacred Azamina effect, sending the Risalago, and then go Sacred Azamina effect to get out the to send the other one to basically get out the Mu Silvera, which will then get you your Omni Negate, and then you also have a draw off of Wanted, so you can get back one of the Deceptions. I like going through this line because it does thin your decking. It gets 2 Deceptions out of your deck. It also just like plays through hand traps more. So just like, yeah, now we get a free draw. We get a Shroud Dragon. Wonderful. We can go normal summon Kit. They can't do anything. So now we just search out the Branded Fusion, put back any card, or basically the draw that we got off of the wanted poster, and then we can go Branded Fusion, go into the Albion, go into the Lebellion, and then we can go Chainlink 1 Lubellion, and then basically go from there. You obviously, if you have another card, you can just go into Lubellion right here. So if you have another discard, you can just do full combo from here. If you're on absolutely not much resources, this might be a little bit harder, but this is basically just, this works. Spinning back the Lubellion plus the Albaz, and then you have the Mirror Jade, and then you also are able to tribute over for the Lubellion, and then you can go Mirror Jade effect, sending the Titanic Lad, and then you are able to then go banish the Spriggan's Kit, and then you can go Shrouded Dragon effect, I guess, in the graveyard from what we had, send Albaz, get the Lubellion effect to get another Branded Loss if you want, fun fact. So you have 2 Branded Lost up at that point, and then you can just go from there. You should have full combo based on the other cards in your hand. You can go Quem, sending the Cartesia, obviously, and then you can go Albion effect for the Branded in red, and then you can just pass to your opponent, and obviously you just have Puppet Lock from there. Your opponent goes normal summon. You go Branded red, get the Albaz, fuse off the Albaz plus the Spriggan's Kit. You are then going to go Chainlink 1 Lubellion, discarding the Book of Clips, Chainlink 2 Quem, reviving the Cartesia, and then Chainlink 3 Branded Loss. Search out the Mercurier, and then revive the Cartesia, and then put out the Sanctifier by spinning back the Quem plus the Albaz, and then you can on summon chain the quick effect Cartesia so your opponent cannot respond under branded loss, sending herself plus the Mirror Jade that was already used to send then the Sanctifier, sending the Puppet, and then you are able to then go Sanctifier targeting Puppet plus the Mirror Jade. And then you can summon Mirror Jade again to be able to be used, and that's full gimmick lock with just Branded Lost plus Deception, which is really cool because Brand Lost usually isn't a combo piece, but this deck makes Brand Lost a combo piece, and Brand Lost is devastating going second. Like I mentioned before, it's a board breaker, so definitely highly recommend this combo line. It's very sick. It's like the reason why you would run AZAMINA. I really think that I'm very impressed with this build, so I highly recommend you guys checking out. I think this build's very good. I think this might be the future of Branded, honestly, with more testing. I would get your Deceptions before they get too expensive, but like I said, you don't need this. I think pure Branded is just as good. This might edge it out in later just because these are newer cards. You know how Yu-Gi-Oh goes. Usually newer cards have better quality to them, but we'll see how that goes, and make sure to leave a like down below. If this video gets 300 likes, we'll do the full AZAMINA combo guide. We'll be seeing you guys later. Bye now.